Hello, hello, hello.
All participants are requested to keep themselves mute.
କଣ ଶୁଭୁନି ନା ନେଟୱାର୍କ କଣ
Sir, namaste. Konda sir, namaskar. Satya sir, welcome sir.
तर कपडे आहे का तुझ्या
Good morning, Nandi sir. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Mahapatra, Dean, Pharmacy. Welcome sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, teachers, invited guests, and students. My, may I welcome Dr. Prafulla Nandi sir to the meet.
Okay. Should we wait for some time? I think people are still joining.
Yes sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We need to wait for 2 minutes.
Super. Super. Super.
जॉइन करू शकतो. All the participants are please requested to give themselves. Start the meeting maybe within few minutes. People are still joining.
पता है कौन तुम्हारी मैं तो निकाल दिया यार आउट कॉल लेते हैं क्या थी उसको फिर से कि
Nandi sir and
Yeah.
Mahapatra sir. Should we go ahead?
Now it is 98, 190, 200 nearly.
Let
Then if we wait again,
Yeah, we can wait for another maybe 2-3 minutes.
sure,
Well,
sir.
maximum we will give 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
let's see if somebody is
another 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. So should we start, Sushant? Because
Yes, sir.
almost 10, 11 minutes have passed by. Should we start?
Yes, sir. Makatra, sir.
Because now already 10-15 minutes already gone.
Yeah, 222
Sir.
participants are there, so that we
It
can
is better
start.
to
Yeah.
start inside that. If somebody join, they will join, no problem.
Okay.
Having
Is it audible clearly?
Hello, not clear?
Is it clearly audible?
Yes, no problem.
Yes, it is clearly audible.
A very good morning to all. Respected speaker
Good
of
morning,
today's
sir.
interaction session, Dr. Praful Kumar Nandi, Vice President, Global Regulatory Affairs Formulation for Nodal Lab. Today, Dr. Santosh Mahapatra, Dean Markets, BPUT, officers from the placement cell of BPUT, revered principal of all pharmacy colleges across Odisha, guests, and dear participants. It gives me immense pleasure to be a part of this Nodal Center, that is Royal College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, Berhampur, for conducting the Industry Institute interaction for the students of BPUT University of Technology. At first, I would like to extend our gratitude and thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir for having given us the opportunity to act as a nodal center for the important Industry Institute interaction cell of BPUT. I also extend my thanks to the placement director of BPUT and other officials who have extended their support to make this program a successful one. As I understand, there are more than 800 participants, those who have registered. However, I find about 250 those who have joined the meeting. And as a part of constraint, some of them may not be able to join this meeting, but we have a proposal and we are streaming live on YouTube, the link of which has been shared in different groups. Dear participants, it is one of the very good initiatives that has been taken by BPUT to bring people from different organizations, industries of immense repute so that we can interact with them face to face and learn something to further our career. I promise as a part of this Nodal Center for this Industry Institute Interaction Cell that in the coming days we will be arranging another 8 to 10 such programs, and I request all of you take the maximum benefit out of it. And today I am very much happy that we have Dr. Praful Nandi with us, who of course we can understand his busy schedule being the Vice President of the Global Regulatory Affairs. And it is our great fortune, sir, to have you on this platform. And we wish our sincere thanks and gratitude for joining. And now may I request, with this, I request our Dean, sir, Dr. Santosh Mahapatra, to please speak a few words. Then we Mahapatra.
Yeah. Very good morning to all, especially today eminent speaker, respected Dr. Praful Nandi sir, Vice President, Global Regulatory Affairs Formulation, and all my beloved friends, principals, and my very dear faculty members, and my dear students. Really, after a long day, we are very happy today only because of really fantastic professional program started by BPUT, and in Odisha, after 35 years of the pharmacy professionals coming up with the market with a big shots of umbrella now in India, is the first in kind in Odisha. Our all students are very good. All are having a very good potentiality, but only the lacking is their industry institute interaction, which is the real part of the profession. So thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, within last 10-15 days, he has taken the initiative to take off the Nodal Center initiative, and also thanks to our Murthy sir and also Dr. Panda sir for taking the very good proactive initiative within very short period. You cannot imagine. Yesterday by 5 p.m. we are discussing whether the program will be shorted by the BPUT link or not. Now within only 16 hours, it is 100% fulfilled, and we are having 1,000 participants, and we are having today, it is now coming on 300 active participants now with the event. So it is a big, it's initiative by Dr. Panda. Thank you, sir. And also, thanks to our BPUT officials for their proactive participation with the approval, and today it is now 100% successful for our faculty members for the achievement of our Nodal Center initiatives. So I cannot make more time because we are really required more time for the interactive session by our Nandi sir. So thank you all. Thanks. My best wishes to all of you for the great event successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mahapatra. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Praful Nandi to you all. Currently working as Senior Vice President, Global Regulatory Affairs, Laurus Labs Limited, stationed at Hyderabad. Dr. Nandi has the role of management of global regulatory solutions and pharmacovigilance activities of Nodal. Dr. Nandi completed his B.Pharm from CPS Nodal, M.Pharm degree obtained from Birla Institute of Technology, Pilani, and he also has got his doctorate degree in pharmacy. In total, he has about 30 years of industrial experience in pharmaceutical research and in international regulatory affairs. He has worked with many multinational companies like Apotex, which is one Canadian MNC, Freshness Kabi, which is also one German MNC. He has also served at various leading Indian pharmaceutical houses like Sun Pharma, Wockhardt, Dr. Reddy, Dr. Alembic, Jubilant, etc. He has visited various countries including USA, Germany, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, Sweden, Canada, Australia, South Africa, to mention few. On various occasions to attend a scientific advice meetings with various regulatory bodies across the world like US FDA, HBFC, HPAFB, EGA, EDQM, MHRA, BPUT, NPA, and CEB. Dr. Nandi is professionally associated with various overseas consultants like Candle, WFDC, Conway, AE, Havitt, and Peter Munger Associates. Dr. Nandi has spoken as invited guest during various national events organized by IPA, PDQM. He also has delivered talks at different universities like NIPER, NMIMS, Utkal University, and different locations of BPUT. To his credit, he has a number of scientific publications in various journals of national and international review. With this small introduction, I present before you the distinguished guest and speaker of today's event, Dr. Praful Nandi sir. May I now request Praful Nandi sir to go ahead with the presentation, and we definitely are very much fortunate to have you on this platform, sir. And I must also thank the pandemic corona, which has made us think that yes, we can come together even though we are apart. That is how I request again for Praful Nandi sir to please continue his talk.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. So, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm
sir.
audible?
And yes,
Okay.
at the same time, may I request all other participants to be muted?
Yeah. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. It is a great privilege and honor to be with you on this morning of 3rd April, and it was really the opportunity. I am thankful to Dr. Panda for giving me an opportunity to speak on this occasion, and I am also I think it is great that you many people are here. So all the respected professors and the principals and the BPUT administrative staff and the students. So I hope it will be a great time. And as Susan said, so please keep all your mobiles speaker on the mute so that not a lot of disturbances are there. And with this, I will take you to I will share the presentation. So you will have to tell me whether you will be able to see it or not. This one, it is here. And
Yes.
so are you able to see perfectly everything fine?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Fine.
Okay. Okay. So this is the topic. Basically, I was asked when I was approached by Dr. Panda. So I thought that would be some technical discussions, and I would I had prepared slides something accordingly. But when he said that our objective or intention is to gap the bridge between the academy and the industry, so I had to slightly modify the the slides accordingly. And specifically, this is a topic which is it is not a technical subject, but I just tried to spice up by giving some flavors about the industry, about the academia, and then how we can bridge the gap. Right, so that's the whole purpose of this presentation. This constitutes almost 20 slides. So I will require 1 hour time. So right now we're at 11:30. Maximum will go up to 12:30, followed by 30 minutes interaction. So if you have any questions in between, you can feel free to interrupt me, or you can wait till the end of the session where we can have a brief discussion for 30 minutes. And that 30 minutes will be open discussion. If you have any questions regarding anything, I will just try to answer, and we will try to brainstorm on it. So with this, I'm moving to the next slide. So you're able to see the next slide, right? Uh, Sushant, I think you're able to see the next slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Next slide. Not yet.
Next slide is a disclaimer. It is there in the slide. You can see it.
Yeah. It is no problem, sir. It is.
Yeah. So it's a disclaimer I'm giving because this presentation is for an informational purpose and does not constitute a legal advice, because as you know, in today's world, any presentation, anything we give, so people might, they might come into a conclusion, this is the opinion of the industry or opinion of the company where I work for. So therefore, I just put it as a disclaimer. So this is purely my expression, which I have tried to put forth it, and it does not constitute any sort of bindings for anybody. With this, I'll move to the agenda session. So agenda session is basically I will take you through the introduction, just one slide, and then the history of pharmacy, because I thought it is essential to know how the pharmacy as a profession evolved and how India came into existence in as far as pharmacy is concerned when we start the world pharmacy versus Indian pharmacy. Then pharma industry, a success story, how the industry has done so far so well. And then industry philosophy, what industry thinks about, academia philosophy, what academy thinks about, then the industry culture, what is the culture that we follow in the industry, and what is the academia culture, and the way forward. So these are the few things which I will just take you through this. So with this, then I have put an introduction. So academies, I strongly believe and feel that academies are the temples of education and training. Academies, they are the organizations, or they are a kind of set of systems. They provide the education and training. The best way they can provide, that's how they stand there. Then industries basically are the profit making organizations. Industries only for the profits, few people have come together, and then they have just made an organization. Either they try to manufacture it or sell it or develop it, and at the end of the day they want money. It is not like an academy. Academy is something where it's a non-profitable organization, so-called non-profitable organizations, because the objective is, the sole motto is not to get money, not to generate money. But industries are basically the profit-making organization. They are there just for the purpose of making money. Academies deal with the theories. So these are the guys, all the academicians, when we studied during our graduation, post-graduation and PhD. So they deal with the theories, whereas industry deal with the practice, because at the end of the day, whatever you study, it has to be practiced somewhere. So therefore the industries come into the picture. Academies are the places where the ideas are generated, because all the ideas, main research works. If you look at main research works, they are generated in the academies, whether it's a Harvard, Stanford, or Oxford, Cambridge, or any other university. So you can see yourself that most of the Nobel laureates they are from the academies. They are not from the industries. Of course, some part of the academies are being sponsored by the industries, but at the end of the day, the people who deal with education, training, research, they are the people who do a lot of generation of ideas. But industry are the places where the ideas are implemented, because at the end of the day, this has to be implemented somewhere.
Sir, it is not audible.
Sir, please unmute yourself, sir. How you got muted?
Sir, not audible.
Not audible since the beginning or what?
No.
Maybe some problem.
Audible.
No, not beginning. Now only it is not audible.
Oh, now only. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, now it's,
Okay.
now it is coming, sir.
Okay. So this slide, when I went through point by point, was I audible or not?
Now it is now audible.
Yes.
Okay.
Only the last slide was.
Okay. Okay. So academics and industries are to be seen because although they are the two different segments, but they are in the nation building. Ultimately, they have to come together and put something in the place so that whatever is being researched or whatever is being generated, that has to be implemented. So with this, I'll move to the next slide. So this is specifically the history of the pharmacy. Since we deal with the pharmacy, I just went back to the pharmacy history. The first pharmacy college in the world. It was established at Philadelphia College of Pharmacy in the US in 1821. If you look at the history, it was 1821, almost 200 years from today. The first pharmacy college was established in the world, that was in the US Philadelphia College of Pharmacy. And if you look at publication of the USP, United States Pharmacopoeia, the pharmacopoeias are the backbones of the entire medicine manufacturing process, because any medicine you manufacture, that has to be certified by the pharmacopoeias. So publication of USP happened somewhere in the 1820. You look at the way the Western civilization was developed and the way they had come into the picture. And the first pharmacy college in the Europe, if you look at Pharmaceutical Society of Great Britain, which came into existence in 1842, that was our
Here for some time.
Maybe some problems arises from that side.
Please here for
The network is.
Network issue. Okay. In our side, there is no problem.
Your screen is not visible.
Screen is not visible.
No, sir, screen is not visible. Maybe the network is from your side.
Google, I think. It's from our side.
No, sir,
Implement.
sir, not coming, sir. Actually, the problem is there. Konda sir, some problem mostly. Nothing is coming.
Sir, please call him.
Yes. Yes, I'll go.
Om Prakash Mahapatra. Please mute yourself.
It is a network issue. We are having nothing to do here. At least we wait and we have to observe.
The meeting is clear. Meeting is clear.
No, in our side there is no problem. Maybe the link,
Particularly.
maybe speaker's link. I think. So. Yeah.
Absolutely join करिए. कौन देखिए नेटवर्क Yes, sir. But you have joined now again.
Now it's fine.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
fine.
sir.
So where did I miss actually then from?
Actually, you were going through the establishment of colleges, and you had
Global pharmaceutical market. This
told
slide,
about the
not this
Great
slide.
Britain Pharmacy College.
Okay. Here we are.
You were about
Right.
to tell about the PhD.
Right.
Pharmacy colleges.
So now you can hear me and you can see the slides, right?
No,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Your slide is not visible.
Share it. Please share it.
Please share your slide.
No, I have already shared my slides.
Screen is not coming, sir.
Screen is not coming.
No. Yes.
This is then share. Is it coming now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Perfect. Perfect, sir. Please.
Okay. Okay. So you can hear me and you can see the slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So okay. So I'm just going back then. If that's the case, I'm sorry. I mean, it got somehow disconnected. So the first pharmacy college in India, it was established in 1932, and the publication of Indian Pharmacopoeia, it was 1946. So the whole purpose of putting the slide is in place is that we were running far behind of the Western, the Western system of the education as well as the pharmacopoeia, because when they were due almost. This college was made at 1821 and 1820 USP. We were running almost 110 years behind the schedule. So first pharmacy college in 1932 and publication of IP came into picture 1946. So by and large, almost we are 150 years back. We are running than the Western civilization in terms of the pharmacy as a profession and is. You can see the next slide. Global pharmaceutical market.
Yes. Okay, no problem.
Okay. So this is a slide about the global pharmaceutical market for 2023. If you look at the entire globe, the 50% of the medicines or 50% of the revenues are being generated from the North America. North America constitutes of US and Canada. So these are the two countries which almost, they contribute 50%, 45% of the entire world pharmaceutical market. World pharmaceutical market today somewhere stands at around 1,500 billion US dollar. So out of which 50% comes from the North America in terms of the value and the volume. Then you look at the Europe, it was almost 25%, and Asia Pacific is 25%. When we talk about Asia Pacific, it includes the countries like Japan, China, and etc. and Australia. And for Europe, when you look at Europe, it is almost 30 countries, 30 European Union countries, which constitutes almost, they contribute 20% of the entire revenue. Rest of the countries like Middle East and Africa and Latin America, they are relatively very smaller markets, including 7% and 3%. Relatively smaller, the reason is that the most of the innovator companies are based at either in North America or in the Europe or in the Asia Pacific. So therefore, therefore the most of the patented medicines, they are very high cost medicines, and those are the regions where it is available. Therefore the revenue generation capability of those countries are higher than any other rest of the world or the emerging market countries. So with this, I go to the next slide, so you can see the global pharma industry. Sushant?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, no problem, sir. It's
Okay. The global pharma industry, I've just tried to put 10 top pharmaceutical companies in the world. If you look at the number wise, the first comes Pfizer, then Roche, Novartis, Johnson & Johnson, Merck, and etc. So the first three companies, Pfizer, Roche, Novartis, they keep on changing their status depending on the their revenue. You look at their revenue are so closely related. It is 45 billion, 44 billion, 43 billion. So they are just 1 billion in terms of their sales. So this is 45 billion US dollar. Pardon? Yeah. So 45 billion dollar is the Pfizer's revenue per year, whereas Roche stands at 44 and Novartis at 43. Out of which, if you look at their R&D expenditure, it is almost coming, 20%. Roughly, if you look at their R&D expenditure is 20%. So whatever revenue is being generated by them, 20% they spend on R&D. and another 80% they usually, they get that profit, manufacturing cost, and etc. etc. So that is the reason why they always stand in the top, because their R&D expenditure is very, very high. Whereas in the case of India, our expenditure is very, very low. It is somewhere around 6-7%. So therefore, we don't come out with any new innovative drugs. We don't come out with any new innovative drugs. And the top selling drugs, right side, I have just put it. So these are the few drugs which contribute a huge amount of revenue for those companies. So with this, I'll go to the next, the future of global pharma industry, how it is going to look at. So this is, we have given a figure of 2017, 2030 and 2060. So if you look at 2030 and 2060, it is going to grow like anything. US market, you just look at, it is somewhere, it will reach around 1,000 billion US dollars. So currently the entire global pharmaceutical market is $1,500 billion, out of which US is going to reach almost 1,000 billion US dollars somewhere by 2060, whereas China is also going to go up, Japan, Germany, Russia, France. So these are the top pharmaceutical companies. These are the top pharmaceutical regions, which is going to grow like anything over a period of time. So, I mean, this is what is the projected turnover. So with this, let us look at the Indian pharma industry. If you look at the Indian pharma industry, though we have not done so well in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, but 2020, our forecast was 55 billion US dollar. It's a great number. So out of 55, maybe you can say 50% goes to the export market and 50% for the domestic market. And I think we have achieved that number, and this is still going up. The whole purpose of telling you that pharma industry is growing rapidly, exponentially, specifically for India, and it is going to go up like anything in the future. So this profession has a great value in terms of for future. With this, I'll just take you to the industry philosophy, right? You can. I'm audible, Susant, right? I'm just checking in between because it's not.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. So then we are coming to the main topic. What is the industry philosophy and how it is different from the academic philosophies? Industry philosophy, we call it CTC. I've just put it, these are my terms. We call it CTC, means cost to company. Industries, peoples are always paid more than the academia, because they are profit making organizations, and these are the places where the moment the company gets profit, it gets shared. The moment they are in loss, almost everybody gets a blow, nobody gets anything. So this is how it works. So although we say it cost to company, but in my viewpoint, it is cost, time and compliance. Anything you manufacture in the industry, it has to be cost effective. You are supposed to produce the goods at the lowest possible cost, if possible. Because that's what is the mandate given here. And time. You are supposed to produce the drugs in the best possible time, or in the the most effective time. If it takes, let's say, for development of drug, it takes 6 months, you'll be questioned 6 times at least, why 6 months, why not 3 months? If I say I can develop a drug within 3 months, they'll say, why not 2 months? So every time everybody is being challenged in the industry for a reason. It is like your personal things, whatever you do at home, whenever we go to market to buy anything, we always look at cost and always we look at time, how fast we can come back after finishing our job. And the most important is the compliance. Anything you do in the life, whatever cost you incur, whatever time you spend, but at the end of the day, it has to meet the statutory compliance or the quality compliance governed by the government. So although we say our cost to company is this much, CTC is this much, but actually it is cost, time and compliance. The industry works or revolves around this philosophy. It is not like an academia philosophy, whereas you have a lot of time, you don't have any cost, effective something, and compliance is not something which has to be mandated there. But here, these are the 3 factors, or these are the 3 philosophies which industry follows very rigidly and rigorously. With this, I'll go to the academia philosophy. How academia looks at academia, when we call about academia, is basically education, research and training. They look at education because they have to provide the best possible education to the students. Research has to be done, of course, postgraduate and PhD levels. Research has to be fantastic because the more amount of time has to be spent there, and training. So that's Academia is a place where you go for education, research, and training. So there is they don't look at cost, time, and complaint. These are the three factors which they never look at because that is not their their cup of tea. It is basically the cup of tea for the industry. Look at industry culture. How industry looks at what is the culture that is being followed by the industry. So these are the SECs. They call it ACCS. Basically, these are the four major pillars of the industry. One is strategy. Another is I get a lot of responses. Hello, Sushant, can you hear me?
Excuse me, sir, your voice is not audible.
On,
Not
please,
audible?
on.
It's not audible?
No.
Yes, clear. How about it?
It's clear? Okay.
It's clear, sir.
Now
Okay.
it is clear.
Okay. So as far as the industry culture is concerned, these are the four major pillars. You can see the slide also, right? Industry culture. Right? You can see the slide?
Yes, the
Sushant?
slide is coming.
Yeah,
Slide
okay.
is coming.
So these are the four major pillars. One is strategy, execution, culture, and structure. Strategy is nothing, it is meticulous planning. So whatever you do, can somebody put his mic on the mute? I mean,
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Sir, please unmute yourself and continue, sir. Because when
Sir,
we are trying to
sir,
mute all, at the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
you are also getting muted, sir.
Yes,
To
yes,
avoid the
yes.
disturbance.
So,
So that
sir's
is why
voice is
it
not
is
coming.
a request to all to please keep yourself muted unless and until it is very.
yeah, it was muted very often.
Please continue, sir.
Okay, so you can see the slides. You can see the slide.
Not exactly. Yes. Yes.
You can see the
Please
slide.
continue.
Okay, and okay, again slide went off.
No, sir. It is getting little late. Please wait. Once you share it. Now it is visible, sir.
Visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you keep me trailing if whenever you, I think you
Okay.
don't see or anything. Okay,
Okay.
so these are the four basic pillars of the industry. One is strategy, execution, culture, and structure. So strategy is nothing, it's a meticulous planning. So whatever you do, in whatever way you do, it has to be meticulously planned, whether it's means there is a project, there is there are a lot of timelines, so you have to dissect it. You have to make a mega planning, a mega planning, then then you have to do a minor planning, then you have to come into nano planning, mega planning, micro planning, nano planning. So unless you break down it into the various sections, you will not be able to exactly know where you are going to go wrong. And as far as execution is concerned, they are looking for flawless execution. So if you plan well, then you have to execute also well. And corporate culture, there is a culture in the place, like some disciplines, ethics, moral values, etc., etc., etc. So these are some things which industry strongly believes in. And a well-defined structure means there is a hierarchy available, so everybody is doing their job, so everybody knows what they have to do. So that's what is called well-defined structure. So industry mostly revolves around these four facets: strategy, execution, culture, and structure. When you look at academia culture, it looks like this. When you look at academia culture, basically this is a relaxed environment because this is the place where a lot of research has to be done. This is the place where you have to do a lot of education, studies, training, and idea generation. Academy is the place.
So please unmute again, sir. You are muted again. Madhu ma'am, please see that it's not
Automatically
muted
it is
again.
happening. I think automatically it is moving through that.
I will
Right.
talk to you.
Okay.
Please see that
Sir,
it is not
it's
done again.
happening automatic.
Automatic.
That's
Okay.
what I'm seeing. Yeah. So
Okay.
you can hear me now?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So academia is the place where you have, I have put it RIK is the relaxed environment because you are allowed to do a lot of studies and research freely. Ideas.
Again, sir.
Again, I saw that. Now I think I can see that. So I'll
Yes.
off.
Sir.
I will unmute. Why is that? Okay. So then this is the place where a lot of ideas are being generated. There is some issue or I just understand.
Someone in the meeting is actually meeting. Is the control given to all?
No, sir, not all, but one particular candidate is putting everyone on mute.
Who is that? Remove him.
So,
Remove that candidate. Are you there, sir? Nandi, sir? No.
so sir is rejoining.
Please allow. And whoever is creating disturbance, please remove.
In Microsoft Teams, this is the problem. If anybody, one can access the file. Balakrishna.
Please join again.
Sir, I admitted him.
सर कौन होची होनी
देखिए सर सर को कॉल करो सर प्लीज कंटिन्यू सर
Sir, mute.
सर प्लीज अनम्यूट and continue
Can you hear me now?
yes sir so
Sorry for the inconvenience, sir.
Oh, okay, so
Please,
that's fine. Okay.
please continue.
So you can hear me now, right?
Yes, sir. We
Okay.
can see also the slide. Please continue.
Okay. So yeah, so can you see the slides?
Yes,
Can
sir.
you see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
okay. When I was speaking specifically on the slide, could you get it or you are not able to get it?
Yes, yes, yes. That was okay, sir.
Okay. So then I'm going to the next one. See, then I am going to the next slide that is called industrial role. When industry comes into the picture specifically for the pharmaceutical industry, I have just put it what are the departments they constitute of how the things move. So one of those is sales and marketing. So these are the one is R&D. So these are the people who develop the drugs, which has to be marketed on later. Then the manufacturing operations. These are the people who manufacture the drugs, and quality. They maintain that it meets the compliance. It meets the statutory compliance of the country as well as the regulations. Then the regulatory affairs. They make sure that the way the product has been developed, the way the product has been manufactured, the way the product is being sold, and the post-marketing surveillance, that is the responsibility of the regulatory affairs. Then it comes to the supply chain management. So these are the people who are basically involved in the purchasing, storage and distribution of the drugs. Then it comes to sales and marketing. With this, I am going to the next segment. So you can see this slide, Sushant.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sales and marketing. So this is basically a department which earns the bread and butter for the company. They are the people who are being paid at the highest level because they are the guys who will get the market, who will fit the market, who will set the market right, and they are the guys who are going to sell the trucks. So it constitutes of again various facets. I mean, within the sales and marketing team, you will see business development, you will see portfolio management, you will see project management, you will see domestic marketing, you will see international marketing. Business development is a department who puts the business strategy in the place. Which country will go, which market will go, which drug will develop, what kind of formulation will be there, whether it's a tablet, capsule, injectables. So these are the people who strategize everything. Portfolio management, they select the drugs. Which are the drugs have to be taken to which market and what region, what should be the therapeutic segment, is there an alternate dosage available, who are our competitors, where do we stand in terms of our pricing, where do we stand in terms of our quality, where do we stand in terms of our manufacturing capability. So these are the things which portfolio management team of the sales marketing division, they set forth everything. Similarly for the project management, so they put everything in the project mode. Suppose we are going to develop, let's say, paclitaxel injections and anti-cancer injection, then when it will be developed, when it will be launched, when it will be manufactured, what is the timeline taken for this. So everything is being is managed by these people. So we have MS Project Microsoft, like you have Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, you have Microsoft Project also. So these are the people who are specifically specialized people who look at everything they take into the project management mode. Then it comes the domestic marketing. So these are the people who are responsible for marketing of the products within the India, because that is their target, how they will launch. Because domestic marketing requires a different kind of skill set than the international marketing. Because in the domestic marketing, specifically, you will have to go to the doctors, you have to go to the literatures, then you will have to have a price control. So this is altogether a different ball game when it comes to domestic marketing. International marketing, they go beyond India. I mean, whether it's a US, North America, or it's a Asia Pacific, or it's a Latin region. So these are the places where they go and they strategize their planning for the sales of these products. So that's how the sales and marketing, although it looks that it's only one division, but it has various subdivisions, maybe 4 or 5, depending on the company who takes the drugs forward. Right, Susan, you can hear me, right? I'm just checking in between.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then it comes to the research and development. This is also one of the biggest and major division of the pharmaceutical company, which comes into the existence. That is, there are basically 5 divisions in it. One is formulation development, one is analytical development, one is packaging development, one is clinical research, one is intellectual property rights. So formulation development department is that division of the R&D who are involved in making the drugs like tablets, whether this will go for a tablet or a capsule or injection or a transdermal or a aerosol, or a kind of what kind of formulation it will go into. So these are the people who develop the drugs. Analytical development, they develop different analytical methods for the estimation of the contents. What kind of, whether I'll go for HPLC or a UV or a GC or a TLC or a HPTLC or a titration. So these are the people who are specifically engaged in developing analytical methods which can suitably quantify the amount of drugs that goes into the formulation. Then it comes to packaging development. So this is a group of people within the R&D facets. They are involved in developing the product, specifically giving a suitable packing, whether it should be a bottle, glass bottle, or it will be a ampule, or it will be a HDP bottle, or it's a alu foil, or it's a PVC PVDC foil. So these are the people who are responsible for making sure that the drug which we have developed is packaged well throughout its stability or throughout its duration. Then the clinical research. So these are the guys who are responsible for bioequivalent studies. Mostly in the generic drug, we go for bioequivalent studies rather than the clinical trials. But if there are any new drug applications or any drug you are developing for the first time, of course, you will have to go through different clinical phases. So these are the people who are responsible for the clinical trials of the drugs. Then overall, it comes intellectual property rights. So these are the people who patent your drug, because the formulation which is being developed, it is being patented. If there is any novelty, I mean, if there is something different you are finding out, there is a different process, there is a different polymer, there is a different formulation, so you can go and always patent. But most of the cases, since India as a country is engaged in generic drug development program, so you have hardly anything to patent, because patent comes mostly from the innovators or the innovative drugs. But still, sometimes you can challenge the innovator. That's how it comes the intellectual property right. They have a different polymer, you are developing another polymer. They have a different formulation, you are developing another formulation with a different kind of ingredients. So IPR comes into the picture there. So this is the whole research and development department constitute of these 4-5 major segments or major departments, where there is a lot of role for the pharmacist to be actively engaged in. Then it goes to the manufacturing operations. You can see, Susan, this slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So manufacturing operation, although it's a production department, but there are basically 4 departments is a subset of this manufacturing operation. One is production planning and inventory control. So these are the people who plan everything. I mean, when the order comes from the sales and marketing team, they are the people who strategize which product has to be produced first and when it has to be delivered, when it has to be packed. So this is the whole entire planning is done by the production planning and inventory control cells. You may have a vice president production planning inventory control if required, depending on the needs of the big companies like Lupin, Ranbaxy is no longer existent. Lupin, Chidus, Dr. Reddy's. You may have a vice president production planning. You may have a vice president manufacturing. You may have a vice president packaging. You may have a vice president engineering. But in smaller companies where the turnover is less or there is not a lot of products, you may have a VP only for manufacturing operation. It depends on the size of the company, the number of molecules you handle, the number of products you handle. It all depends on that. So these are the places in the industry where pharmacists plays a great role. They can work in any of these departments. Of course, engineering is mostly governed by engineering graduates and postgraduates, but there are many places where pharma people are also there heading the engineering division. Then it comes to the quality. When you look at quality, these are basically 3 segments of the quality. One is quality control, one is quality assurance, another is quality engineering. So quality control is the department which is responsible for testing. So whatever that is being manufactured before it is being being sold or before it is being taken out from the plant, they are the people who do the testings. Because there is a test method available, they have to test for, let's say, for assay, impurities, degradation products, residual solvents, disintegration time, dissolution time, whatever is there in the specification. These are the people, their job is to only control the quality of the drugs by analyzing it. Then you have a quality engineering. So in different companies, this terminology differs. Quality engineering is nothing, they call it validation team. So anything that is being done at the plant, it has to be validated, whether it is raw materials or packaging materials or manufacturing operations, or testing operations. So these are the people who are responsible, or they are the people who frame the guidance for the validation of the entire system. Or even sterilization operations, washing operations, anything that is being done, these are the people who are involved. Quality assurance is a bigger segment. They are the custodian of the plant compliance. So they are the people who are responsible for, making sure that anything that comes into the plant and anything that goes out of the plants are exactly meeting our standard operating procedures. So by and large, quality assurance is one of the most effective. Everybody is effective. Of course, quality assurance has a bigger role to play. They have to ensure and make sure that everything that comes in and goes out is as per the certain standard operating procedures. And they are also responsible for the audits and complaints of the facility whenever the inspectors from the various regulatory agencies come to the plant. They are the people who face them and make sure them that everything that is we are doing is as per the statutory regulations and the requirements. With this, I'm going to the next. Sushant, you can see this, right?
Yes, sir.
Regulatory affairs.
Regulatory affairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a team. This is basically a team which has also a bigger role to play. So although is a team which is responsible for regulated markets, when we say regulated market, there's basically US, Europe, Canada, Australia, Japan. These are the highly regulated markets. For them, the requirements are somewhat different than the emerging market. Emerging market is the rest of the world, which includes India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, LATAM, Africa, Middle East, Asia and everything. Regulated markets means you are mostly those people who are in the part of the ICH, that is International Conference on Harmonization. So they are basically the people which constitutes of 83% of the world pharmaceutical market. Let's say 80-85% world pharmaceutical market comes from the regulated markets. Another 15% is there from the emerging market, because it is, although there are many complexities, many countries, many regulations, but value wise you don't get much, but volume wise you get a lot of sales, because there's a huge population which they live in emerging markets area. Then you have a regulatory compliance. Regulatory compliance is something which starts from the development till it is manufactured and being dispatched from the plant. So the way the product has been developed, the way product has been manufactured, the way the product has been quality controlled, everything is responsible of regulatory compliance. They will have to make sure that everything is done as per the country specific requirements.
Meeting.
Somebody please mute.
Somebody has to put his
Ashish.
mic.
Okay. Thank you, Ashish.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. So regulatory compliance, the difference between the quality and the regulatory compliance is that the quality is responsible for anything and everything, whatever we make in standard operating procedure, it has to be followed. But regulatory team has some responsibilities beyond this, because what is the requirement of that specific particular country? They are the people who, they translate it into the particular requirements, and then those get translated into the SOP. The moment SOP is in the place, QA comes into the picture. Before that, how the SOPs are created? SOPs are basically created based on the feedback received from the different regulatory agencies. So this is the job of the regulatory affairs. Then pharmacovigilance is the another segment of regulatory affairs which you must be aware of. Pharmacovigilance, the government of India was not very much, concerned about this, but now they have become very much concerned, because pharmacovigilance comes into the picture when the drug is being sold in the market. When the drug is being sold in the market, then there are a lot of adverse reactions, lot of adverse events, lot of patient feedback that comes into the picture. So it is the responsibility of the pharmacovigilance department to compile all the information that comes from the market and submit to the regulatory agencies. So you can hear me, Sushant, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So pharmacovigilance has a broader scope. This basically they call it phase 4 clinical trials, or you can call it the post-marketing surveillance. Pharmacovigilance, if you define it, it is nothing. It is post-marketing surveillance. Once the product is in the market, usually manufacturer forgets everything. I have already sold the product. It has gone from my site. I'm not responsible. It goes to a C&F agent, then goes to a wholesaler, then goes to a retailer, and then the person takes the medicines. But pharmacovigilance is something, whatever happens to the patient, it is the responsibility of the manufacturer who is taking, who has manufactured the drug, has to get the information from the patients, and it has to get back to the, it has to provide all the information in a compiled manner to the regulatory agencies. In India also they have implemented, but for US, Europe, Canada, they have a very, very thorough way of compiling everything and providing, and there is a quarterly update, there is an annual update, there is a half-yearly update. So you have to keep providing these informations, and this is not only for your medicines, specific medicine anywhere in the world, if there's any reactions also, you are supposed to intimate them, you know, so I've taken, let's say, pantoprazole tablets had certain reactions or certain adverse reactions in some hospitals. They might have taken some other medicines, not our, not the company's medicine, but since pantoprazole is a drug which you are manufacturing, so any information, any patient's reports, it has to be, you have to give a number in your package insert. It has to be, the feedback has to be taken, it has to be compiled and to be submitted. So that's how the pharmacovigilance department works. So regulatory affairs is mostly responsible starting from the development of products till the commercialization of products. So that's their responsibility to make sure everything is done in a perfect manner as per the country specific requirements. With this, I'm going to the next is supply chain management. I think you must be aware of that. Supply chain management is a specific department. Now you have a fuse, department in the industry which takes care of the purchase, all the raw materials, packaging materials. That is being any material that is being purchased is done by the purchase department of the supply chain management, because there are a lot of qualifications involved, from where to buy, which vendor has to be qualified, which vendor has to be come into the picture. And what are the technical documents that is required from them. So this is the purchase department which deals with. Then you have a storage. Once you purchase, then there is a warehousing department which warehouses the materials. So warehousing also goes through a steady check-in procedure as defined in the regulations, because you cannot use it unless it is tested. If it is failed, then it has to go back to the manufacturer. If it is passing, then only you have to take. So the entire incoming materials, testing, storage, quarantine, and dispatch. Everything is done by these guys. And then distribution. Distribution is called a logistic department. The way the goods are produced, and then it reaches at its destination. When I say its destination, it's probably a logistic, it's probably a warehouse, or possibly a place like in European cases, you have every product that you manufacture has to be quality released again in the Europe, because it has to be again tested by a person which is called QP, qualified person, before it's being dumped into the market. Whereas in case of US Canada, you don't go through this stage. So the pharmacy has a bigger role, specifically in all these three: purchase, storage, distribution. So they are part of this activity, and they add value there. Then I think I just took you through the entire procedures, how the industry looks at, how the academics looks at, what is their culture, what is their philosophy, and what is the industrial scenario, how people work there, what are the departments where pharmacists can play an important role. Then at the end of the day, when we are looking at how can we bridge the gap between academy and the industry, so this is the few suggestions that came into my mind. I just put it for information. I mean, so Sushant, you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So one is the industry-oriented curriculum. See, pharmacy has a great curriculum. You have different subjects like pharmaceutics, pharmacology, pharmacognosy, pharmaceutical engineering, pharmaceutical management, APHE, anatomy, physiology, health education, and etc. So everything, I mean, so academy is a vast subject. Of course, it has to go in its own way, but the whole effort should be there as far as their curriculum is concerned. It can be slightly industry oriented wherever it comes, wherever there is a industrial applications, specifically pharmaceutics, because this is somewhere you will produce tablet, capsule, injectable. So this is a pharmaceutics. So the curriculum has to be aligned with the industry requirements. It's a very, very easy thing to tell, but very difficult to implement. But over a period of time, I think AICT and the PCI possibly they are trying to align it to some extent to the industry. So as far as more curriculum alignment is there from the academy side, so industry will get benefit out of it, and academy, the people coming out of the students coming out of the universities will have more chance to work in the industry, because they know most of the subjects. I mean, that is one of the thing which can be done over a period of time. How it has to be done, this has to be thought. Then internship opportunities in the industry. See, you will see in many of the prestigious institutes, IIT and IT and IIIT and all those that government funded institutions and etc. And even if in the private institutions also, the pharmacy and other places. So a lot of internship opportunities are given in the industry. So that has to be given actually. because there are certain universities which give every year there is internship opportunity in the first year B Farm, second year B Farm, third year B Farm, fourth year B Farm, like M Farm first year, second year. So there has to be a lot of internship opportunities which has to be given to the people coming out from the academy, because that's how the industry will industry will have a chance to work them with a very a stipend kind of things, whereas industry will get benefit, and students will get a lot of opportunities to learn there. So, and many people who are offered internship opportunity are being absorbed by the industry also. At the on the latter day, they are absorbed if their efficiency are if they are capable of doing good things, so they can be absorbed. So there has to be a lot of internship opportunities which has to be given by the industries. Increased interaction between university industry through workshop and seminar. So there should be a lot of interactions between the university and industry, like the way we have been doing. This is one of those interactive session. So there has to be many more. There is a lot of workshops, seminars which should be sponsored by the industry, sponsored by the university. Industry people should attend, university people should attend, although it is happening, but it has to be done in a massive scale. And more we do such kind of programs, which is of course possible in the metro cities, and other places maybe not, but because of this online programs and etc., possibly the day will come when we'll have more interactions between the university and industry. This will help in getting a lot of opportunities for the students. Then the collaborative research between the industry and academia. This is also one of the field which has to be seen. In many of the foreign universities, if you look at whether it's just for the like Oxford, Cambridge, etc., etc. If you look at California Institute of Technology and many other universities, if you look at, there is a lot of interaction between the industry and academia. You can see a lot of people who are coming, who are getting Nobel Prize. They were working in something like Laxo Laboratory of King's College London, something like that. So when there is a lot of research programs are being given by the industry, because industry has the money power, they can give, they can sponsor many students from the academia who will work on a specific project. And then only, if there are a lot of collaborative research takes place between the industry and academia, the students are going to get benefit, and as a turn, the industry also is going to benefit out of it. So these are all, theoretical things which seems to be, but there are many places where it has been implemented, but then a lot of implementation has to be done in the India specifically, because I think in that front we're lacking behind. Mentoring for students by industry professional. This is one of the program which I see with the BITS Pilani, because there are a lot of requests which comes from the alma, that alumni, that can you mentor some students. So there are many places where the people who have come out of the academy and they are in the industry, they can mentor some students, so they can at least help in their growth process, in finding a suitable job, or to think about how industry works and what the corporate culture is. So there cannot be a lot of mentoring can be done. That is one of my idea which I am just put it. Then faculties having industrial experience should be employed too. So most of the faculties, what we see is generally basically they're academicians. They have great record of PhD, postdocs, and etc. Some of the faculties can have industrial experience, like some of the universities they are doing. So that even the government of India is also proposing for a UGC and etc. Some universities, they want to have some industrial experts there as in faculty, so that they can mold the students from the beginning in such a way that they will have more employability ability. I mean, that's what is the whole objective is. So this is also one place where industry and university, they can work together in finding out such situations. So these are the few. Sushant, you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are the few suggestions that we have put forth, looking at the way how things are going on. You can always give your comments and feedback about this if you have anything after completion of this. Then the last slide, I have just put a quotation. This is just, I just wanted to put specifically for the students who have attended this. So this is a famous quotation of Albert Einstein. I will end my presentation with this slide. I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. That's what he said. So in student level, whenever we were also even if studying and etc., I can see there are many of the students who focus on this study, focus on the subject. How can I, get more marks? How I can get out of this place and I can go to the industry? Because industry are the pay masters. There is no doubt in it. But you have a huge stress level there because there is a lot of work they expect you from a very short period of time. But only thing you can survive everywhere if you have passion and if you are curious. So if anything and everything you do in your daily life, whether at home or at school or at university or at college or anywhere, wherever you are, if you are interested to know something differently and if you are passionate about doing the things, you can crack anywhere, you can go anywhere, you can do anything, whatever you feel like, whether it's academy, industry, or hospital or administration, like drugs inspector, etc. But you have to, at a student level, you have to be passionately curious. So if a scientist like Albert Einstein, who can say I have no special talents, I mean it is applicable to everybody. Nobody, we all are unique in nature. We all have our unique potential. Nobody is special actually. You can only put forth all your efforts in one direction passionately. You will do the best and you can do the best. Because I don't think there is any limitations on anybody that he cannot do the fit for industry or he cannot be fit for anything, because we think industry picks and chooses the people. But yes, they look at your attitude, they look at your mindset, they look at your behavior, they look at your the sense of ownership, they look at your emotional intelligence. There are a lot of tools which are available, HR tools which are available specifically for making sure that the person to whom we are recruiting, I know they are of the fantastic quality. They have a lot of dedication. They have a lot of commitment. They have a lot of sense of ownership. So these are the things which has to be there in the students. Forget about, I mean, see, we can say those IITs, NITs, Triple IT, etc. They are the prestigious institutes in the country, and but you can very well see the people coming out from those institutes also have not done so well. The people coming from a mediocre institute or average institute also has done fantastic. Only thing you have to be passionately curious. Only these are the two words which one has to remember. If you have passion and if you are curious, you can survive anywhere, everywhere, and you can do wonders in place of the other people. Like if I just give an example of the way, I mean, I did my BPharm from College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Berhampur, Mohuda, and Sushant was one batch junior to me. It was a great college, great professors. Dr. P.N. Murthy was the principal and the professor at that point in time. So they also gave a lot of insights into our building, and we had to also capitalize on it, and then we went forward. So the bottom line for the students is that like your thing, whatever you have been doing, you can do wonders. And then industry is something which is looking forward for the people to be there. And we say in the general sense 80-20, like you would have seen there is a Pareto principle in the management. You can Google it out and see 80-20 principle or 80-20 rule. They say 80% anywhere you go, I mean any college, any institute, any university, any industry, 80% people are followers. Only 20% people they do 80% job. They say 20% of the people in the organization do 80% job, and 80% of the people they do 20% job. And that's true for everywhere and everything. Like this came from a Italian economist, Pareto. Pareto was one of the greatest economists of all the times from Italy. He found one day that the total land of Italy is occupied by 20% people. They are the rich people, and 80% have only the rest. 80% of the people in that country. Let's say you have 100 crore population, 20 crore population have 80% of the Indian land, and 80% people have only 20% land. Then they took out different experiments. He found out in a field, in a peace field. That's what he saw, that actually in a field, if you sow 20% of the plants, they contribute 80% of the yield, and 80% of the plant only give that 20% of the yield. So you have to remember that you have to be within that 20%. As long as you are within that 20%, putting all your passion and effort there, you will stand out and you will do the best, whether it's industry or in the academy or wherever. Otherwise, it will be very difficult, to move around and to do something. Everybody at their level has to think that I have to be within this 20%. Because 80% are scrap. I will not say, I will not use this word scrap, but they don't add any values. They just look at the people and they listen, and then you have to within the 20% to make it one of the greatest career growth. So with this, I think I will move to the last slide, which is question and answer. If you have any questions, you can please feel free to. I am free to take it off.
Thank you, Dr. Nandi. In
Yeah.
fact, it was a great talk. I would not say talk. It was a guidance, in fact, where we have learned the growth of pharma industry, where we were, and now where we are heading to. And it was a also a very good comparative figure that was presented, like from the Western countries to the Indian context. And the last slide has in fact created a great impact on me, that everybody has to be very passionate. And dear participants, you can see the passion that Dr. Nandi has. And as he told, it's like not a national repute college of not a national repute, but from CPS Mohuda also he has gone to this extent. We are proud of that. We are proud of you. We are proud of you, sir, being an Odia. Also, you have achieved that feat, doing wonderful job for the pharma industry in the world. That is what we need to learn from you, the passion that you have. And we will open up for the question and answer session, sir.
Yeah.
And what I have actually got from your suggestions, if possible, we may go ahead with one of minor plan, that it is very much difficult to accommodate the number of students we have in BPUT. But what we can start with, sir, if possible, that we will identify a team of faculty members, because the gap where it lies is to be patched up by the faculty members. We need to get it from the industry and percolate it to the students. So if possible, sir, we will identify a group of members, we will invite the applications, and if possible, we can send that group of teachers with their own like interest to visit the industries, to learn the culture, to exactly learn what is happening there, so that it can be percolated to the students. That is what one point I thought of from your suggestion. If it is possible, sir, we will work out.
Yeah, we'll definitely work out.
Send for few days, so that they can learn some things in the industries, faculties, and percolate it to the students. Sending so many students to so many industries may not be possible. And particularly in Odisha, we do not have such industries where students
Yeah.
can really learn things and get benefited out of it much. That is what I look forward from you. Thank you, sir. Now the session is open for any question.
Yeah.
From my side also, thanks, sir. Really a very big important events for us and for all the faculty members or for the students as the BPUT check. You are taking a very good care for that. But my one suggestion, what already Dr. Ponda told, as because at your time and our time also, it is only hardly 5-6 colleges are there, only hardly 200 students are there. Now it is 5,000 students in BPUT curriculum, and only there is no industry, national, international, other things, only domestic industry, only 20 numbers in nearby Cuttack, all together. So main thing is that we have been giving a very practicing all the curriculum, and we are imposing PCI syllabus, we are imposing all the things, even if last 3 years back with the pressure, and we have introduced also industrial training, hospital training through the BPUT curricula. So you have to changing, but last 4 years back, it is very difficult to change because you have to impose the PCI syllabus. As per the PCI syllabus, you have to go through our curricula. But main thing is that already I have started today industry and student interaction. So for the 5,000 students, now there are only 28 colleges. And in coming year, another many colleges coming up. So many things is there. So in which model you have to take? Sir told already group of teachers who have to send and they pick the idea, all the methodology and come back and segregate. That means they have to give their knowledge and all. So second line, as because you know everything, because you have to have a foreign, at least a big experience. So which model you have to take, then also to be easy for the faculty and for the students for a big career with the theory. how can think yes, you have the YouTube, you have having lot of things, and Corona already set back with all the things regarding this virtual meet and all. So second or third step, what we have to take? Please clarify the things.
Yeah, I mean, you were asking a question, right?
Yeah, question with the yes, it is question also.
Okay.
As a dean of university, have to have to clarify.
Yeah, I do understand.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I do understand that a lot of people are coming. I mean, a lot of students are coming out of colleges. There are many colleges, many students, and industries are limited, and the scope is also limited. But as I told, everybody. As I say that everybody, of course, everybody is trying to be within that 20%. Where these 80% will go, they will have to also exist. There will be leaders, there will be followers also. But I think what I think we can do for the students level, what I can say that, see, I think my recommendation for the students would be in general. I think this is what we lacked also during our timing. We realized on later, actually, even if we realized after working probably 20 years after in the industry, there are a lot of, it may look a little bit funny, but there are a lot of self-help books. I think this is what I think, like a lot of, like, let's say I can say one book is Atomic Habits by James L. Westphal. There are several books which are available, I think.
Sir.
See, people have to develop their own habits. That's Atomic Habits. There is one book by James L. Westphal. We can see Atomic Habits. They have to develop certain habits, which is their strength, and they have to keep working on that. I'm just saying a general sense. I'm not going into the how industry look at because it's a challenging for everybody. There are 5,000 students coming out of Odisha, and there are maybe 20 states. If you 1 lakh pass out, let's say 1 lakh students coming out of pharmacy students. So, and definitely there is a limited number of people that they are going to take. So you have to have certain USP within the students who will be differentiated than others. For them, they will have to see, first of all, like for example, from my experience, I can see possibly I would have looked at 1,000 students. I would have recruited 1,000 freshers into my whole 30 years of curriculum, 30 years of industrial experience. Of course, I look at the institute or the college from where they're passing in. It's, to be very frank and honest, we will see that. At the second, also we look at the numbers, how much CGPA they have got it, how much percentage of marks also they have got it. So everybody has to, but although the mark is not the only factor which determines the student's capability, because there are many places, there are many people we have seen they're fairly not a very big marks, but they are great guys. So great guys can only be built if they have a very, great attitude. So many of the students, what we see or I find, that seriousness is not there. For general sense, if I look at it, just for example, like there are certain etiquettes, they will come your mobile, they will not switch off while coming for the interview. For example, I'm just telling you. So that itself will, go into your mind that, this person is careless. He doesn't bother whoever is there. He just comes in and and there are some, there are, of course, there are interviewing skills on which we have been taught. There are some programs in the IIM and etc. where we have been continuously going there. How would you interview the person? How would you know that he's the best guy to whom we are going? Because you will have maybe 30 minutes of 1 hour interaction. You have to find out a guy. So having said that, although everybody is going to the college, 1 lakh students, I don't think everybody has the attitude to go into the industry or to do something well. Some people are going, possibly they didn't get any seat. They weren't there because, of course, they are the guys who should be taken in actually. Suppose guy didn't get a medical, he didn't get into agriculture, engineering, forestry, fishery, whatever, and then he came here. He has a lot of interest in doing. And some people, they are just coming, okay, chalo kuch to kar lenge, we will just get into study. And so those are, if your attitude is not very good, then you will not survive in the industry. Most of the people, they have left in between or they will have to leave. So from the industry side only that those are the few things which I said, that there has to be collaborative effort. There has to be a lot of interaction, interactive programs, workshops, seminar, conference to motivate the people. But at the end of the day, every student has to put a great effort in choosing his career and in making his career as a success. Otherwise, it's very difficult. I mean, in general sense, I'm telling you, because it's a very difficult question to answer.
Sir. Thank you.
It is
Thanks a
true,
lot,
true.
sir. Really,
It
it
is
is
true.
good.
Anybody else? Who has any specific questions?
I think also everybody got within this one question.
In fact, we have started with a very apt topic.
Yeah.
This program, Industry Institute Interaction, where we have got the overview of the industry and the academics, how it is going on, and what exactly the industry people look in the students. That is what we have got. And in the future, whatever the programs we have planned, we will be focusing little on the entrepreneurship. We will be focusing little on the skill development. Accordingly, we have designed, sir. And there will be something like on the IPR also, because that's a booming thing. So we will invite some other people who are working in the industries so that the students will get the maximum out of it. It is not only the book reading that is going to help you. You need to listen to these talks. You need to get motivated from these big people and find out your own path. Like if you are thirsty, you need to approach the well. It is not the well coming to you. And when you approach the well also, it has to, you should also have the equipment with you. You cannot directly take water from the well. You should have a bucket and a rope so that you can get some water. So like when you, industry is not going to come and approach you, you need to go to the industry. And how? You have to be equipped with. Now what is your equipment? Your knowledge, whatever you have gained in the during the studies. And these type of things, whatever you are attending, you will learn a lot. And that is why I hope and I advise all the students to attend all such programs. It is very leisurely prepared, Sundays only, 1 to 2 hours. So please spend time along with watching movies also. You please spend your time, valuable times with this also. Okay, so this is for the students.
Yeah.
I think that should be.
See, in our days, we can say at that time, we had no internet, we had no Google, we had no search engine, we had only library you have to go. But now everything is on your fingertip, right? I mean, you just Google out anything you don't understand, you can just Google out and you will get the answer. It's like that. So only people have to have passion and a strong interest to know more and more about anything. I mean, anything is being taught in the class, let's say like physical forms or micromeritics. What is the theory behind it? That is something. It is not only a bookish definition which one has to go through. Like in our times, we didn't get anything. Whatever was available, we were looking at. Now in Google, you go to Wikipedia, you will get the entire history. I mean, because nowadays also, even if for me also, if I don't understand anything, I don't have to go and just search Google and Wikipedia. You will get the entire history. Right. And that you will not get any more information than anywhere. It is actually available in the website. One has to take that interest, go through that, and one is the communication skill. Let's say, for example, in the industry, the most important is the communication skill. Yeah. So we see many of the people who can, who can speak well, but they cannot write well. The people who write well, they cannot speak well. So those are the things which I think certain corporate professional corporate culture has to be there in the beginning. I mean, that is something where the colleges can also take certain interest in training their students so that they become almost fit for the industry, ready to be there in the industry.
Dr. Panda, sir, sorry.
Do we have anyone from our BPUT side?
Hello.
Yeah. Sir, do we have anyone from the BPUT side? Otherwise, Sandeep sir, I request you to please communicate that this program was done and was executed as it was planned.
May I take your pardon, sir?
Yeah, please.
So one of the students in the chat message has written, is B.Pharm
Yes.
sufficient enough to build a career, or we need to go for higher studies in order to build up a career in industries?
Yeah, that's a good question. So definitely M-Pharm is always better than the B-Pharm. It goes without saying that. So if you have a master's degree, you will be always preferred over a bachelor's degree. Because bachelor's degree may be only suitable for production environment where the production of goods will take place. But in the R&D, they will move for M-Pharm and PhDs. That is must. And even if for quality, regulatory, or even if other positions also, for always M-Pharm would be more preferred than B-Pharm. That it goes without saying. I mean, that's the message for everybody.
Thank you, sir. Hope Samantha J has got his answer.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Sir,
more.
okay.
इंडिया तो फार्मासी रे बहुत ग्रोथ करूची एटा तो सत्य कथा किंतु ओडिसा रो कंट्रीब्यूशन कोन माने सिक्किम भलिया गोटे नॉर्थ ईस्ट स्टेट छोटो स्टेट की से केते मैक्लोर सिप्ला भलिया कंपनी रखी किंतु ओडिसा रे गोटे एमएनसी कंपनी नै सेति पय बी फार्म करिया को बहुत पिला राजी होना तो एई जो जिंसटा रहउची कारण अल्टीमेटली पिला कोन हो जे बी फार्म करले माने हमको इंडस्ट्री जाई बाहर को जीवा गुडे जेंति माने कहया कथा नुहे जेंति दादन खटिया को जाउ एवला सेति आपण सारा अछंती हैदराबाद रे तो आपण वाइस प्रेसिडेंट होया पोजीशन रे अछंती आपण चाहनंती गोटे ओडिसा रे बोलो माने ऑफिस खोलिया को कि ओडिसा भी गोटे इंडस्ट्री माने फार्मा आसु 75 वर्ष हो गेलानी हम एपन गोटे माने फार्मा इंडस्ट्री देखिया पालुनी ओडिसा रे पण ओडिसा रे केते केते भलो इंडस्ट्री अछि
Okay, we got the point. Please listen.
Definitely, Odisha re IT industry to see Odisha basic Odisha uniqueness hoji minerals and metals, right? So many of the industries, minerals, metals, industry bharti pura Odisha. Steel Authority of India Limited, Nalco, Balco, everything. I mean, you name any metallurgy industry, metal industry, it is there. But pharma industry मते जना पडु नै काहे कि वे त गवर्नमेंट किछि इंसेंटिव्स दउ नै टैक्स फ्री हॉलिडेज जोडा कंपनी को मिलुची सिक्किम जम्मू काश्मीर बाकी अन्य सब स्टेट पळै जाउचंती एठी काहे कि आसुनांती सेटा एक्जेक्टली रीजन तो मु जानि नै वे त ओडिशा स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तो ओडिसा भी जबरदस्त अछि कारण जाहाले भी हमर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वाटर रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एयरपोर्ट एवरीथिंग इज देयर आई मीन ओडिसा किछि पछवा नै किंतु गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव न होनै मते जा लागुची वो तो सही जो को केही आसुनांती बसिया पे इंडस्ट्री मते जा लागुची मु से माने मु एक्जेक्टली रीजन तो जानि नै मु भाबुतबी से
Sir, you are
Sir is absolutely right.
ठीक क्वेश्चन सर एक्चुअली through different forums like IPA, APTI and OPI.
Yes,
there are different forums. We have been approaching the government several times that by citing the advantages of having pharma industry in Odisha. So probably we are not able to convince them, or there may be certain hidden reasons which we don't know, which we do not exactly understand, but we are constantly pursuing it. Not recently, but we are constantly pursuing it since 10 years. And we are hopeful that it will be taken care by the government.
IT park was not there. There are several IT parks now.
Sir, already after long pursuing with Dr. Pondanoj and our IPF forum and all, we already pursued government, and simultaneously with that, they have given one drug policy, drug industry policy. 2016 already it was there. For that reason also, one or two very small industry already been established. Started last year. It is started near to Bhubaneswar. So it will take time, and really it is incapable from our side. We cannot pursue all the government. It will take time.
कारण ओडिया पिला इंडस्ट्री देखले सब बडे भर्ती आई मीन इट इज देयर इज नॉट अ सिंगल इंडस्ट्री वेयर यू विल नॉट गेट एट लीस्ट 20% people should be from Odisha.
Second, sir, our Sikkim diagram, second Odisha diagram, sir. At least more than 1,000 students.
And Visakhapatnam, many of the Indian pharmaceutical companies, Visakhapatnam, and Visakhapatnam is close to Berhampur. So many Odia guys are there. I mean, it is full of.
Still, sir, they are having the demand. They are only people only because of the good culture and good stamina.
We will keep trying through different forums. and thank you for raising this question. Do we have any other specific questions related to?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please introduce,
Good
please
afternoon,
introduce
sir.
yourself and ask, sir.
This is Anupam Sahu from GIST Gunpur. I am assistant professor in Gunpur. Actually, sir, I have been working nearly 15 years in industry. Later on, I moved to pharmacy college for my personal reason. Actually, I know that MSc students, BSc students are working in industry. It will be a great help for our pharmacy student because uh, we are taking MSc or BSc students rather than B pharmacy or M pharmacy students. As you know, you told only 1 lakh candidates are passing out from various industries, various colleges. So it will be great to help for our pharmacy students. It will get pharmacy students rather than MSc or BSc students. If I'm not wrong.
Right. That
So,
you are absolutely right. See, most of the industries, industry, as I said in the beginning, industry is a profit-oriented organizations. They are only interested in making profits. So wherever they get people having the lowest, they can provide the lowest salary, but at the same time, best quality. There is no doubt in it. Also, they want the best quality. But many of the quality control, let's say quality control is a department where you have to just analyze the drugs, right? So you have to be an expert in HPLC, GLC, TC, TLC, titration, all the wet analysis, dry analysis, etc. So they are preferring MSCs over pharmacists because pharmacists salary will be little bit higher and MSc salary will be little bit low, and so they will go with them. But in the production specifically, earlier also they were going with BSc MSc, but now almost they have been phased out with the pharmacist. I mean, there is no BSc MSc in the production. Only quality control they are making use of it. But other departments like in the regulatory also, if I look at in some of the companies, they had. But in my lifetime, I had never taken any BSc MSc guys in the regulatory because I made it very clear that we have to have only pharmacists in the place, and 99% M farms, only 1% if is B farms. Sometimes we would have taken if the candidate is good. Otherwise, mostly we go for M farms. So I mean that is companies looking into, and in the overall scenario in the industry also there are a lot of other dynamics comes into the picture in terms of the politics and etc. So different region, different people they want. Why should we employ from somebody, some other state, and all those things come into picture also. So, but definitely, pharmacist will do a better role than a BSc or MSc guys. It goes without saying.
Right. No, if we'll take pharmacy students in pharma industry, then I think most of the pharmacy students can be absorbed in industry. At least we can increase the number of recruitments.
That is true.
Right. Okay, thank you, sir.
Right. I think we are approaching our time. Nandi sir, it was in fact a great day. Started with your talk, sir, and we are very much privileged and grateful to you, sir, for providing your valuable time to us. And we will always look forward for your guidance and support for the pharma students of our state, sir. And as I said, we will work out something, sir, so that we can train some teachers, your able guidance that will help the students at large. I extend my thanks to the Vice Chancellor, sir, again, and the entire team of the Training and Placement BPUT for providing us the opportunity. And definitely, I will fail in my duty if I don't extend my thanks to all the principals, those who have transferred the information that was shared in one of our principals group that is created by Dean sir. And yesterday evening only I circulated the registration details. And thank you all very much for your overwhelming support that many students could register. And I must thank our staff member, uh, particularly to Dr. Prashant Chaudhary and Dr. Madhusmiti Kandai, who have supported in conducting this event successfully and creating the YouTube link also. Later on, those who have missed out, they can go through that YouTube link and they can also learn from that link. At the end, thank you all the participants for participating in this program, and I hope it is definitely a beneficial one to you all. Please percolate this information to other friends so that they can also come up and learn from the forthcoming interaction session. With this, I thank one and all again. And will we end the meeting, sir, with your permission?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ponda, and thank you, Nandi sir, for your big help to the
Yes.
Odisha
Nandibhai,
Federation.
namaskar.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So we'll end the meeting. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, thank
Have a
you.
good day. Jai Jagannath.